All right, and welcome back, guys, to DNA Wellness. Dana here, and today we're going to talk about how to grow that hair. So if you did not catch it, make sure you catch the video where we talked about why your hair won't grow, okay? So in that video, we went through some things that we need to take out and some things that might be keeping you from having those long, luscious locks. Remember, new videos come out every single Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you get notifications of when they are uploaded. But today we're going to talk a little bit about simple things that you can do to help your hair grow. So if that's what you're interested in, stick around to the end of the video. So we are going to give you some of those tips. Now, if you did not already catch it, we also talked about some simple things you can do from the inside out. So catch that video here. But now we're gonna just deep dive into some other things that were not mentioned. So again, how to grow that hair. So so 4 things we're going to talk about to make your hair grow. So number 1, oil plus hydration. So I think this is so important, oil plus hydration, because you need the combination of the two. They must work together. So there's some simple things that you can do to distribute your hair throughout all of those strands, okay? So it is important to understand the different types and textures and things about your hair. We will be doing a video on that next, so be sure to catch that as well. But when we think about no matter what type of hair you have, no matter what type of hair texture it is, you still need to distribute oils that produce from your scalp all the way to those ends. The problem is when we're not getting that even distribution all the way to the ends, we're gonna have breakage. We're gonna have shedding, more so than what we really need and want. So it is important to make sure that we're getting that from the scalp all the way down to the ends. So some simple things that you can do, we do massage our scalp, and we actually will pull some of those oils through to the ends of our strands, okay? So simple technique, when you stimulate the circulation in the hair, stimulate those oils to produce and move them to the ends. So now this can be something that's done simply, maybe if your hair is straight, because you might just be able to use a brush and just brush those oils all the way to the ends. So if you don't already know, me personally, I do not brush my hair very much. So I do this manually. I will manually manipulate my hair to bring those strands and those oils throughout all of the hair, okay? So this is super, super huge, and it's super, super important, and I think so many people overlook it. Another wonderful thing to talk about is hair oils. So things that are going to mimic oils and getting that distribution as well. So if you do not have a copy of KINKY LOCS, definitely get you a copy of KINKY LOCS. That beautiful, beautiful book has some recipes. I love the long locks treatment. That is great for the scalp. I use that to grow out these edges because, woo, they had got a little rough and a little thin. As thick as my hair is, I was very concerned about those edges, and so that helped to grow that back. So a few of the oils mentioned in that recipe are jojoba oil, castor oil, cedarwood, lavender, clary sage, rosemary, and peppermint. So the essential oils that are mentioned, be careful where you get your essential oils. Not all oils are created equal, okay? So we are talking specifically for me, I only use Young Living essential oils. So with those oils, I do a combination of that. And this is going to depend on your hair texture, right? So castor oil is an amazing oil for my hair, but it might be too heavy for your hair. So jojoba is a bit of a lighter oil. So you're going to kind of deep dive to see and play around with what is going to stimulate most growth for your hair. So for me, some of the oils like cedarwood and lavender, those again are going to be great to increase that hair growth process, whereas clary sage, rosemary, and peppermint are stimulating circulation. So a lot of times we're not getting the hair growth because we're not being stimulated and circulating the way we need to. So that is number 1, oil production, making sure that you are getting that oil from the scalp all the way to the ends of the hair so you can lessen some of that breakage. Number 2, so this is a key one when we are washing and conditioning and doing all of the things for our hair treatment wise. When you are done, even if you do wash and condition with maybe warmer water, it's super important to seal in those cuticles with cool water at the end. So this is super crucial to those cuticles. We want to close everything up. So maybe you've done all these beautiful things, treatments and stuff that are on our hair, but we want to seal it in to get in there deeper. Okay, so cool rinses at the end. In combination to that, in this number 2 is protein treatments. So protein is amazing for our hair as well, and it's going to help to strengthen it, make it strong. So depending on your hair texture and your hair type is going to depend how often or how readily you're going to do protein, because you can absolutely overdo it. So you are going to want to know your hair, and we will talk a little bit about that again. Be sure to check them. Number 3 I want to talk about is trim. So sometimes, especially when we're in the beginning stages of this journey, we get a little nervous about cutting our hair. So we're not talking cutting, we're talking trim. This is going to be super unique again. So you need to learn and understand your hair, because it's going to tell you what it needs and what's going to be best for it, right? So you might go a month and you need a trim. Another person might go every 6 months and need a trim. So you have to kind of just feel your hair. What is it doing? Like, do the ends seem like it's shedding more? Do the ends seem fragile? Can I look at my strands and see split ends? Like, you really want to investigate, understand, and learn your hair to kind of decipher how often you really are going to need those trims. Work with a professional, right? Work with somebody that is on this hair growth journey with you, that is going to be able to say, hey, it's time to get a trim. Hey, it's getting a little rough, and that is going to make a huge difference. So number 4, and I saved this for last because I do think this is so important. Stop over styling and over manipulating the hair. Okay, so we'll break this one down into sections. So first and foremost, even if you are not a naturalista and going the natural route, that is cool, that is fine. But understand, you want to lessen the times that you're putting the stress on it, right? So if you're coloring it, if you're out in the sun, if you're putting heat on it and you're straightening it and you're perming it and you're doing all of the things, your hair's not gonna grow. It's just too much stress on it, right? So it's coming out nice and strong, but it's breaking out before it can really do anything, because the reality is you're just over styling it. You're just doing too much to it. So minimize it. So even if, let's say, you normally straighten it once a week, maybe lessen that to every other week. Or let's say you skip one of the color touch-ups or something like that, so you can again minimize some of that styling. I promise you it'll make such a big difference. The other thing is manipulation, and in a lot of ways we don't even really think about how much this is. So I don't brush my hair because, again, it's just over manipulation that's unnecessary for my hair. So you might find something different, or you might find something the same. A huge thing that a lot of people are into is, let's make sure my edges are slicked back, pull it into a nice tight ponytail. Maybe the braids are a little bit too tight. Or even certain things like, putting the strain from like weaves and wigs and things like that. Nothing wrong with them. They can be amazing protective styles if done properly and if done right. If you are in pain after you get your hair done, it probably is going to break your hair off. Just the reality, because you're probably putting too much stress and strain on it. So you want to be super aware and conscious of how much you're manipulating. Even something simple like maybe I might be doing a twist or something like that. If I'm yanking and pulling too much in the same areas over time, you're gonna have breakage. Your hair's not gonna grow. It's going to be counterproductive to what you're trying to do. So those are 4 simple things, how to grow that hair. So again, new videos come out every Wednesday. So stick around, because next week we're going to talk about where to start when you're starting in this journey, learning your hair texture, learning your hair density, because all of those things are going to be crucial to being successful. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Take care. Happy, healthy hair.